Thank you for clicking the video, guys. This is Jared from Blind Man Plays. Something a little different for you guys today, and this is continuing the theme of the last video, and contrary to what you're seeing on screen now, this is a horror video. As you can see, the footage on screen is from Far Cry 6. This is one of my all-time favourite recent games. I absolutely love the Far Cry franchise. Not so much the endings though. But that being said, this is a recent story that I want to share with you guys. This is something that I really didn't expect to have on a night of gaming. Far Cry 6 and Stranger Things. Wouldn't expect the two to fit in the same sentence, but they actually do. So, this is episode 2 of Beyond the Game, Vanishing Point. The Far Cry 6 and Stranger Things crossover. So for those of you who know the Far Cry games, they are basically intense first-person shooters. Maybe not as intense as your Call of Duties, but they are open-world first-person shooters that have some form of intense story. And it's the storytelling with the Far Cry games that I actually love, along with the characters, especially the villainous characters. And the one thing I don't like about the Far Cry games is the endings. Although the endings can kind of fit the story and fit the characters and the narratives, they're actually quite depressing. But the gameplay, taking down the outposts, doing the missions, and just interacting with the open worlds that the Far Cry games provide is a really sublime experience. For those who haven't played Far Cry 6, it's basically a struggle for independence, or a struggle against tyranny. You play as Danny, who can be a male or female character depending on your choice, and you are recruited into a band of guerrillas called WHITEBAT.
They got my name wrong.
Danny, you could help Libertad. You're trained.
Would have been career military if you weren't such a fuck-up.
Just come with us, Lita.
You never fucking listen, Danny.
And you are fighting against the FND forces of the El Presidente Castile, who is ruling over this fictional country of Yara, this island country of Yara with an iron fist. And you follow Danny's story as she basically recruits different people from around the country, brings these forces together to a coherent army, and eventually at the end you kind of have this big sort of confrontation.
The sword and the hero! Nice to see you two alive. Not all find it, huh?
It was all trouble, but lucky for you, this one's good.
Well, you're just in time. El Jefe's making dinner.
And I've got to say this, hats off to Ubisoft. You'll see in some of these clips I've got like an audio commentary in the background. Wow, how did I exist and play games without that? It's so helpful to someone who has a visual impairment. The audio description that like sort of, it just highlights when to press A and press certain buttons and things I might miss. It really has improved my experience of this game. So, let me set the scene for you. I'm there one night. I've got nothing really left to do, so I decide to spend a couple of hours in Far Cry 6 and do some missions. And I'm expected to take down some outposts, some intense combat, and I hear of a mission over the radio from Juan telling me of an abandoned village. As I get to the village, I investigate the killings of a few guerrillas and this TV, which is static, and suddenly I start hearing this Russian girl's voice in my head.
Come on. Hijo de puta.
Ты нашла меня.
Binga. My head.
Слушай, we made a connection. Now I can speak my mind to yours.
I know there's been news on YouTube and things when this mission dropped, and Far Cry 6 has dropped like sort of side missions that are inspired by popular culture. I know there was one with the guy from Machete, I can't remember his name now off the top of my head, that came out a few years ago, but this was the first time I'd booted up Far Cry 6 in quite some time. So I find myself in this Russian bunker, and suddenly I have a strange sense of familiarity. And this bunker is a little bit further off the map. It's on the left hand side of the map. The mission, I think, does activate whilst you're in one of the farm camps. It's the one with Philly. I know Philly is and Chorizo. I know they are part of it. I couldn't remember the actual one. The Monteros. I think it's the Monteros anyway. Yeah, it's the Monteros. It's part of the Monteros, sort of a part of the island. And one sort of contacts you, and you can basically follow the on-screen prompts and you get to this sort of little this village, and then you follow the quest up there. So the next thing I know, this cutscene plays.
Okay, so the bunker is real.
Oh, it's
Hey,
Chorizo.
buddy. How did you get in here? Carajo. No way you did this. It's okay, boy. ¿Qué coño?
I do not like that world. We should not be there. It does not like us.
What does not like us? This Chernobog? That is just story to frighten children.
It frightens me. It even frightens you. I can feel it.
Shest, stay out of my mind. I will not warn you again.
I cannot help it. Your fear, it is so strong.
And there's like recordings around here of like this Russian girl is very similar to Elle, or the people that the kids that were being experimented on in the Stranger Things narrative. So she's going through something very similar experience to what Elle goes through in Stranger Things, and you start to build a relationship with her.
Soldiers keep supplies up ahead. There might be better weapon there.
Yeah, going to need more guns.
Objective
Bigger
completed.
guns.
Find a way out. Search for more weapons.
You okay? Hold on, I'm coming.
Hold X button and do the vanishing. Find a way out. Cheers doesn't sense chorizo in the bunker.
What happened?
We're going to end you!
Coño! What the fuck was that? Shest, what was wrong with that person?
Not person. They're kukli. Puppets controlled by invisible streams. Lost forever to Shadow Place.
She asks for your help, and obviously you help her, but one of the main mission you're going through is also to find your dog. Now chorizo, as you can see, is half dog, half his back legs are missing, bless him, so you know he has this mechanical thing to sort of help him to move around. So for the first part of the mission, you find yourself sort of in this Russian base, and you get to a giant laser, and you end up in just like in Stranger Things, you end up in the Upside Down, or a very similar word. Obviously, they don't use the same. They don't use the same wording, but it is quite clearly the Upside Down. They use the word like the other world or something. And this world is full of weird zombies, mind-controlled sort of people that are controlled by this giant spider in the sky. And it is brutal. It is brutal. There's some really intense combat here, where you have to use some of your takedowns and melees. You don't have a great deal of weaponry to start off with, although you do sort of build up an arsenal towards the end. And your primary focus for the sort of bulk of the 45-minute mission is looking for chorizo, and you find the different parts. Like you find his wheel, you find like a wrench from his like sort of little cartridge he's got like supporting his body, and eventually you end up in this cave and you find chorizo, and you're then getting chased by a mind flare, and that is just, oh man, it is just amazing. It is just so much fun.
60-40? For real? Okay.
There's too many! Get back to the bunker, guys! Run!
Get out of here.
It is absolutely so much fun, and you've got to make your way back to the bunker, because all the creatures from the world of the Upside Down are trying to break back into Yara, and so you're fending them off, and it all ends with this cathartic ending between the relationship of you and this Russian girl. You can get a hold of a copy of Far Cry 6. It's on Ubisoft Plus. I thoroughly recommend a playthrough of this. This was an absolute joy to experience, and it was like one of them sort of evenings where you thought you were going to be doing one thing and you ended up doing something completely different. And it was, I don't know many games that have done that. They've given you something alternative to indulge in and offer apart from the main course that the game kind of offers. But hats off to Ubisoft for putting this mission as a little Easter egg as part of the Far Cry 6 sort of ecosystem. It is absolutely sublime. It is absolutely sublime. And I just want to share it with you guys. I want to share that memory with you guys and share, you know, what the experience was like for me, and you know, recommend it for you guys that maybe want to go and check this one out. You know, it's a 45 minutes. I don't know if it links into like some of the other DLC that has. I know there's been some more DLC released for it, and it looks kind of similar. But I know this is definitely a free mission, as I only really have the base game of Far Cry 6 and don't actually own any of the DLC at the moment. So, what do you think, guys? Have you ever had an experience like that where you play one game and then suddenly there's like an offshoot and you end up playing something else? I can't think of many examples myself off the cuff, but perhaps you can. Staying with the horror theme, if you want to have some more horror retro entertainment, check out my 5 terrifying things about the Resident Evil games that will still scare you today. I want to say thank you to everyone who has graciously watched the videos since the channel was revived a couple of weeks ago. I'm absolutely over the moon and thrilled to be doing this again and to be back sort of making these types of videos. I've really been enjoying this. This is a lot of fun. Thank you so much, guys. More videos on the way very, very soon. If you do like this video, please give us a subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. It does help the algorithm a lot to actually comments and likes. They do actually help get the word out there, and so other people can enjoy these videos as well. Thank you very much, guys. Sending my love, and we'll see you in another video. Take care. Peace and love.